This is episode 279. I got Derek yawning. It's going to be in the intro.
Sorry.
279.
I'm tired.
12-string hot dog.
Is it a hot dog with 12 strings? Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. You got to listen to find out.
Or is it a 12-string guitar made of hot dogs? I don't know.
Or anyway, is it a hot dog made out of 12-string guitars?
Oh, man. Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Now you got me. You're wrinkling in my brain, as they say. So what did we talk about this time? We talked about guitar burnout and a whole lot of nothing else. Basically nothing, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of this meandering thing, but there was a lot in that guitar burnout thing. It contained a lot, so.
It did, yeah. So chime in on guitar burnout and, the giveaway. We talked about the giveaway. Like, duh. We talked about the riff contest that you're going to win.
Still happening. So. You haven't blown it yet, dear listener, but you only have 4 days left.
Hurry up. It's the tone control.
Bing!
Ding.
All right.
Hello.
What up? Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the tone control, baby.
Babies.
Yep. I had to look at my calendar a number of times today to confirm that it was podcast night.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like things are fine. Like it's not a particularly crazy.
An issue.
No, there's nothing going on. It's just kind of sort of like, is that today? Oh, yeah, it is today. I just had a really busy weekend, I think. And I forget what, my Monday through Friday life is like.
Right.
And I come back into my Monday through Friday life and I'm like, oh, crap, what was I doing? Right? It's like when you return to a video game after too long.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, where was I in this? Oh, God, I need a guide.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that come Monday and I'm like, oh, right, I do a podcast. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So...
It's every other week too. It's like like Monday. Yeah. Wait, is this one? No, it's not. And then the next one's like,
actually, you know what it was?
Yes, it is.
Part of it too, with like what you're saying. I do something for the podcast every Monday. Is either recording or publishing.
Right. Yes.
Last time, because Monday was a holiday here in the States, and I was not going to be at my desk at the time I would publish because I have the day off of work. I did pre-schedule that one. Like days and days in advance. So then that Monday comes and goes and I'm like, oh yeah, we published today. Cool. And I just like move on and completely forget.
Just your phone dings. Great job. Oh yeah, I did that.
Oh yeah. Oh, right. That's way to go past me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yep. Then today comes, it's actually been like 11 days or whatever since I've done any tone control stuff. And I'm like, oh crap, show notes.
11 days is too long a gap for the tone control.
I guess so.
You have to at least smelled it in 10 days or less. Or
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
So what's going on?
It's things have been busy. Things have been cranking along. I've been on a real productivity kick.
Cool.
I'm productivity focused today. More on that later.
Productivity, Justin. Good.
Yeah. Which has been good, and I think things are turning out well. In fact,
is this are you doing a method or something, or like?
No, man. It's just a bunch of stuff needed to happen, and then some things fortuitously happened, and so it's just that's been the focus. Nothing I set out to search for, but when it happened to me, I was like, you know what? Taking advantage of this. Oh, and if So right down to I don't know. I've just been had my fingers in the guts and the work of how my studio workstation works lately, and I just whacked my microphone. And
obviously not that into it, but
well, it just I feel good about it. So there's a lot going on, but everything is working, and I don't know if it's because I sort of massaged it all or if I learned something better than I used to or what, but yeah.
Nice. A little while ago, this only reminds me of like taking your stuff apart and rebuilding it, but I took my workbench apart downstairs with all my crafty stuff a little bit ago. I reorganized the whole thing and put it in a new power situation to have more outlets facing me and stuff. And it was like, oh, I got to stop everything I'm doing, and like every project I'm doing, and reconfigure this whole thing before I move forward, because this is only getting worse and worse and worse. And
you're pushing the ball uphill, right? It's going to eventually come back down.
Yep. So I've got a couple things going right now that are going to soon be out of my place, which will free up some room as well. So I might do it again then. We'll see.
Yeah.
Reorganize all the paint cans and stuff. But yeah. So, yeah.
Oh God, reorganize. Every time I sort of glance at or think about my basement storage area, it's like knowing that I'm going to like move in less than a year. And it's been slowly like maybe 2 years ago, I did like a reorg on my whole storage area, and it was like great. Like I threw out tons of stuff. I got everything piled into like less than half the space it was previously taken up. And it was like awesome. And then of course it just slowly deteriorates from there, right? So now it's once again down to just a path, and then it was down to a path, but you have to turn sideways.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, and I'm gonna have to move.
Yeah.
Shit.
Right. Yeah. I would have a hard time justifying doing anything to that space now before you move, especially if it's like so clear, like it's so definitely happening.
I think that's exactly the thing, right? It's like
you're kind of off the hook.
I was already lamenting doing it, but now I have to do it and can't enjoy it. Like it's gonna happen because I'm gonna need to pack all that stuff out, right?
Right, but just wait till then.
Right, but I'm also like I will. Yes, this is correct.
Yeah.
However, I really would like to I would have liked to do it and enjoy it too. I'm going to feel like there's no fruits of it. There will be whatever. We're going to land in the other place.
Well, I know what you mean though. Well, no one enjoys it.
Yeah.
Find me someone who actually okay. Please don't.
I don't know.
But it's well, like we've already been in this house a lot longer than we thought we'd be.
The hunt for the world's perfect psychopath has begun.
We've been in this house longer than we thought we would be. And that's kind of turned some stuff like around for us. Like we rebuilt our whole deck a few years ago, and that was a thing of like, should we have to do that before we move out? Should we enjoy it though?
Right.
Like, should we? Yeah. It's that whole thing. So now there's even more stuff coming up. It's like, well, now we're like, we have a family here. So that's a big step. Like now we're like really rooted in. What do we do? So the basement where my workbench is like doubling as a guest room, and it's also the basement where just like basement things are. Yeah. And it sucks. It just sucks. Like everything's in the way. And then sometimes my parents come to visit and I have to like move all of it out of the way and temporarily elsewhere in the house so they can get to the bed. It's a pain.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh my God, I have a guest room. It's also full of shit. It's piled high. There was an appraiser here, and she had to like take pictures of every room and like do measurements and stuff.
Yeah,
and
like, we don't go in that room.
Marielle was like, "Did you let her in the guest room?" Like, what do you mean let her in the guest room? Like, do you want to go through with this whole house
do you want
thing?
to move? Yeah.
Like, do you have cold feet because of the look of our guest room right now?
Because of the room. Yeah.
It's literally just like old Aria's toys and things that I threw in there because oh my God. Anyway.
Oh, dude, I get it. Believe me, I get it. I cannot stress enough how much. You ever just like turn around and you're like, when did I get all of this stuff?
Yeah.
When did I get a house's worth of stuff?
Right. It's this, you get something, you set the box in the corner.
Yeah.
And then you get another thing and you set the box in the corner, but you can't. So you have to set it on top of the other box. And then you
put it on top.
Oh, I'm doing it. And then you walk away and then you get another thing. Oh. Yeah.
You know what I've been hearing in my own head lately is like, no, do it. Complete the task. Complete the objective. Do it. Over stuff like, like putting, Thursday is trash day. And I'll like, every Thursday I open the trash can to put something in it and there's no bag in there. And I'm like, oh, right. I should put a new bag in and throw this thing away. And what do? I put the thing on the counter and walk away. So it's like twice the work for future me, but whatever.
Yeah. Oh God. How long should we go on about this? I was about to keep going. What do you think about that?
I don't know. You know what? Hold on to that. Hold on to it for now. Okay. Let's jump in with a sound.
Okay. And this is the moment where I'm going to tell you something. So to the audience, I have a Stream Deck now, which is some of the organization I was doing. I talked to Derek about this. And so I have a page full of buttons that are going to help me run the stream. It's ostensibly made for this kind of situation, right? Essentially like doing a live video thing.
Right. Yep.
And good for a lot of other stuff too. However, I did up my tone control page because I wanted to be able to do all this stuff. And so I have the soundboard is now on here, and we're trying this out. It's got a button that says random stinger.
Oh,
and it's just because I started to make buttons for all of them. And
don't do that.
I have more stingers. Like, this is a 15-key thing. I have way more than that. So then I'd be paging through and I'd be deciding which one, and I repeat them. So this is just going to play. I have a folder full of tone control stingers, and this is just going to play a random file out of that folder.
15 key as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, I
don't use mine like this. You're way cooler than me. But yeah, go ahead.
You could. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, here we go. So random stinger. Let's see what happens.
All right. Awesome.
Oh God, it's still going.
It's over right now.
Oh, good. Yeah, I have a countdown clock, so I can tell how long it's going to take.
Nice. That's awesome. I was really like fingers crossed for the tone control riff. That would have been pretty
It would have been rad. It's in there. It's in there. I don't know. So now,
does that have its own dedicated button?
I should make one, right? Actually, wait. On this other page, I put the 2 of the 1981 DRVs in here until I realized that I didn't want to make all those keys, and that's when I quit.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we're both guessing. I think that was the Maris Enzo.
You're correct. Yeah.
Okay.
I remember that one because it's a guitar synth pedal.
Right. And it's bananas, as you can hear.
Yeah, there's that too. There's too. Yeah.
So what are we into?
Oh, I was just going to pause and say the giveaway is still rolling. So get in there.
Yep.
So actually, when this episode publishes, this is your final week to get into this giveaway. So
that's right. Glancing at the calendar.
Glancing at the calendar. Let's do that. So
let's do that.
On November 28th at midnight Eastern time. That's a Thursday. I know that's a little weird, but it's Thanksgiving. So that makes sense in America brain.
So when this episode comes out will be the 25th. So if you're hearing this on the 25th, you have 4 days to get it in.
Yeah. So the week this episode drops, it's your last chance. So yeah, get in there. You can get the information, the drum loops, the submission form, all those details are in our Discord server in the giveaways channel. That's it.
Yep.
It's easy. Do whatever you want to do. It's about the riff, right? It's not about your recording techniques. It's not about your solos and your songwriting and stuff. It's about the riff. So write a great riff and you can win a Lollygagger Canalia.
It's a little bit about your songwriting.
Well, yeah, in a sense, a little bit, but like, sure.
We're focusing on a portion of it, and it's an important part of songwriting in many cases. However, Derek is correct.
Yeah. It's not about how fast or like how many notes. Mm-hmm. It's got to be a mean-ass riff. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we said last time it should stick in your head.
Yeah, that's a really good sign.
It's good sign. Yeah, you're on the right track.
Yeah. So, that's it. That was my only interjection here, was just a self-promo for the giveaway. But yeah, we're stoked to give away a Canalia.
Yeah.
Huge thanks to Lollygagger, of course. Again, as always, forever.
Lollygagger, some of the most lollygagging effects you can ever find. Also very pretty. He obviously puts a lot into it. We haven't talked about his stuff that much in quite some time, and he definitely deserves it since he's throwing this up.
For sure. Yes. This overdrive. Oh man, if I was smart,
were I a smart man?
I would plug mine in. I would have had mine set up to play for y'all to hear tonight, but I don't have that configured right now. Yeah. But anyway, the Canalia, it's made of wood, so there's that. Mm-hmm. But it is
beautifully
pedalboard friendly.
Finished.
Oh, yes, of course. Amazing. And the folks at Lollygagger are going to hand pick some cool color situation for this giveaway. So extra exciting all around. And it's totally durable enough to go on your pedal board and be a regular pedal. So don't worry about that. It's super friggin' hard maple, flame maple in a lot of cases. And it sounds awesome. It looks awesome. It is awesome. And it can be yours.
For the low, low price of a riff. If
a
you
riff,
get
just
picked.
one riff. Just one riff.
Yeah.
And we're going to play those riffs on the pod.
Yes.
And have some fun with it. So I have not thought about that stuff at all. And I still want to write a riff and contribute to just to like have one in the library with everybody. And I keep forgetting to do it big time.
Me too. I keep remembering that I've forgotten. But again, I have felt pretty busy, and I will say, I've probably said this on the show before, there is a certain aspect of my job that does make me feel like I don't really want to do audio stuff always in my off time.
I get it.
And I kind of regret that a little bit, but like, I'm not going to sit here and like I like my career, so I'm not going to actually regret it, but it does make it weird that like, sometimes I think, gosh, I don't even really play guitar anymore. But I can't really feel too bad about that because of all of this. But anyway,
this other stuff. Yeah. Okay. So let's pivot.
Yeah.
Do you want a sound?
Sure.
You
Random button
again.
Here we go.
Oh.
Okay.
I have no clue what this is. Some weird ass delay.
It's some multi-delay. Yeah, there's definitely two delays going on in there. I am not sure I have a way of telling. It doesn't show me. It doesn't show me what file it played.
Okay.
Anyway, there's probably stingers in that folder that weren't even on my soundboard over the past however many months.
Probably not.
So we're gonna hear some stuff potentially.
Some old ones. Yeah,
I'm also curious if it's gonna repeat. Like.
Yeah, I was curious about that. Like, will it get through everything before repeating?
I don't
Probably
think it's
not.
keeping track of what it plays. So I think every single time the chances are equal that it could play everything. So there's technically the same chance.
Again,
if I push it again right now.
No, if you push it again while it's playing.
It just stops.
Happens? Okay, so we could do that.
Or at least that's what it does with the other program buttons. Yeah, it just stops.
Okay. All right.
So if it repeated, I would just stop it and we'd all say boo together. Maybe I'll make a boo button that'll play a boo sound effect.
Yeah,
and
or like a womp womp. You could do a
trombone.
sad trombone. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because all those sounds are in Discord too. Like Discord has a soundboard for us to send to each other, which is insane. But
quest for the audience then. Make me a sad trombone a la tone control. In other words, with guitar. And I would like, here's what I would like. And I would like as many people as wants to make a sad trombone on their guitar and send it to me. And I'll have a folder full of just sad trombones that we can play for when the random button accidentally repeats a sound.
I'm 100%.
I love this. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. New side quest, not a competition, not a contest or a giveaway or anything, just an ongoing open call for
right
for your trombone riffs.
Trombone riffs. Oh God, the trombone button. Okay, this is great. I'm having fun. So I just played a sound. What were we pivoting into this time?
Yeah. So your thing about like, oh God, I don't even play guitar anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I've kind of. My guitar playing has changed so much over the years, just as like how much attention I pay to it and how many hours a day or week or whatever I'm dedicating to either actively playing or just like being really mindfully involved musically, like in my day.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely in a down trend right now, despite being in a band. So it's kind of a weird combination of things. I'll like just last week I was kind of hyper focusing on learning all the lead parts to The Suffering by Coheed and Cambria because we're going to do it in the band. And that felt like I've got some homework to do. Hell yeah. Like I got a job. Let me see if I can do this. And I've always kind of steered away from Coheed, specifically learning a lot of their stuff because it's kind of intimidating. And
they're kind of a bunch of guitar heroes.
They're right. There's kind of a lot going on in those songs. But The Suffering, I know it really well, which takes a lot of that initial issue away. So I've been doing that and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm back in guitar, baby. Here we go. Feeling great. And then I just like don't play for many days at a time or longer. And I start to feel bad. I start to feel guilty about that. And I'm like, well, and on the other hand, I've been doing all this other stuff. I'm a dad, right? I have a toddler, not even like you're a dad too, with a much older kid than mine. So like, it's so different.
It's true. My kid just towers above your kid.
Oh God. Jack is dwarfed.
This is a fun bit.
I like it. Yeah. He looks at her and he's like, Jesus.
Oh my God.
She's friggin' giant.
What even is that?
Anyway.
It's like he's like, how you get so big eating food of this kind?
Yeah. Honestly, how is Jack getting so big eating nothing at all? He's one of these classic toddlers that survives on a cracker, a yogurt pouch, and a Wish.
Oh man, we're gonna have stuff to talk about. My kid is also has become not an eater.
Oh, by that, Justin means he's going to be a guest on my other podcast.
Yeah,
about
not
being a dad
right
soon.
in this moment, on a different day, on a different show. But anyway. So like, I look at most of my guitar gears in my office now. So I've got my guitar rack that holds 7 instruments over there, and all these 2 on the wall, and then there's one on a stand as well. Mm-hmm. My 2 amps are in here, my pedal boards are in here. Like, I'm seeing and I'm in and around all my gear all the time, which is the first barrier to wanting to use it, right? I can just spin my chair around, my stuff's right here. It's not novel. It's like lack of surprise, or
it's a little bit of that, I think, and it's a little bit of like I don't know, my days have become really like really familiar, and I know like how much time I have for each thing, and a lot of times I want to play guitar without a limit on it. I feel like is kind of the issue.
So when you find yourself with like 20 minutes, you're like, well, I'm not gonna 20-minute the guitar.
Which I should think, but I don't. You know what I mean? Like, I think like I don't want to buy into that right now. Let me go like, even if it's something like I'm just going to go, not anymore, but sitting in the sun, or go for a walk, or go empty the dishwasher. Like to try to like fill that with something productive or something that's like more focused. Like I'm going to do nothing, or I'm going to read. But I don't know. I see my stuff, and I have another guitar coming in a few months. And it just sort of like doubles down on that. Like I still want that guitar. When it comes in, I'm sure that's going to super energize me about music and doing my thing again. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about any sort of like long-term loss of interest. But when you are in a drought of low interest, it kind of sucks,
Yeah. Yeah.
I also have a lot of like personal identity wrapped up in guitar though, so maybe it's just me. Do you not feel that way?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's been this long, slow thing. I wonder if I ever had a strong personal identity about guitar, because when I was playing in bands, okay, so like you meet people out somewhere, you're at a gathering of some kind, you meet somebody new or somebody who doesn't know you about that well, and this comes up, right? Oh, you play guitar,
Yeah.
And it would be somebody who knows me. Oh, Justin plays guitar, And I'm always like, and I always was, not just now, but even back when I was like playing every day, I still was, I'm not very good. And I always saw myself as like, yeah, but hold on, like, don't do anything with that information. You know what I mean? Like,
don't
one
sign
of
me up.
our friends now. So my wife's business partner that own their practice together, her husband is a lawyer, but also does like a one-man band at bars and stuff.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
So he David does shows, plays at a few, anyway, he has a few regular places he goes, doing covers, taking requests. He knows a ton of stuff, a lot of guitar, a little bit of piano. He has all this stuff. He has his whole like little setup in his car. Really good time. And so when I meet somebody like that and it's like, oh, you play guitar, I'm like, Oh man, like I don't know if we can have the
Yeah.
conversation you think we're gonna have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm usually wrong because it's not like they're gonna quiz me about my scales or something. You know what I mean? But
Sure.
we're just talking about music, and he, you know, I do have like expertise in recording and things like that. So like we have plenty that we can get on about. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, I was gonna say like you still have a really
Yeah.
close adjacent field.
yeah.
So,
But that's what it makes me think of when you say that, like identity, personal identity.
Kind of.
Is
Yeah.
I'm always like, what are you about to?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I started playing guitar when I was 12. So, and you know, when you're 12 and the following years right after that are like the big ones, kind of like as you figure out who you are and stuff. And like guitar was such a major portion of that experience. So it is like truly inseparable for me, like personally. Also, interestingly enough, just the other day, I hung up my acoustic guitar in our living room, which I've never really done before.
I saw that picture.
So I put that up and I was just thinking like, well, Jack's old enough now to like understand what that is and that people play it and I can play it and stuff like that. So, because I realized like, oh, he's forming memories. I don't think he currently knows or remembers that I play guitar.
Yeah.
Right. Like he's been around
all
it.
the time.
Yeah, because he's not really allowed in my office because it's not baby proof because all my guitars are in here and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's right. So I put my acoustic up out of reach in the living room, and I wouldn't you know, I played it more in the last 48 hours than I have in the last 40 weeks or something like that. But so.
And is anybody asking you to, or are you just seeing it?
Sometimes Jack asks. It's only been, I put it up on Friday or something like that. So it's only been a few days, but yeah, Jack asked, and I picked it up once or twice, it just being there, because I'm like, hey, old acoustic, what's up, man? And I just like want to have a minute, because that was my first guitar that I owned. So, you know, I have this little bit of like, it's not a good guitar. I have a lot of sentimental attachment to it. So it's just there, and I'm like, me and my acoustic.
Yeah.
So anyway, this whole thing of just like the ongoing burnout of like the gear conversation and stuff. And I guess maybe it's that I don't feel well enough versed in the music side of that conversation to fall back on that, you know, music theory wise and things like that. To talk about music stuff instead of gear stuff.
Do you mean if somebody comes, like you meet somebody and that it's like, oh, and they want to talk to you about it?
Yeah, because, well, yeah, right. The same thing happens to me. Somebody finds out that I play guitar. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that's like 90% of who I am, by the way. So, you know, but also I don't want to talk to you about it anymore, right?
Isn't that funny?
It's so weird. Like you better not fucking ask me what overdrive I'm using, you know, like that kind of thing. Just that small talk makes me crazy now. Yeah. I don't know why. Maybe I've just done it for so long and it feels so faked, and then I'm just, I don't know, that interest fades a little bit, and if it's not about the gear in the moment, then what is it about? It's like, oh, then maybe you're not too good at the music theory part, then what are you doing? So there's a whole bunch of like cascading thought there.
Have you had bad experiences like that you can remember, or are you imagining? You know what I mean? Like
definitely imagining. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. But there was a time when I would like at a gig, right? I'm at a show, the other guitarists and other bands are there. I would find myself talking to them just about gear or something and be like, oh, how do you like the blah, blah, blah pedal or whatever? Oh, I like your sound. I like your guitar. Just like to schmooze and kind of connect and stuff.
Right.
I don't care for that anymore. And I just wonder if it's like I don't know. I just don't need it anymore, or if I'm like aging out of it or what, you know?
Yeah, that's interesting. That feels slightly similar to what I think about. Not that it's to do with other people necessarily, but like when I've been working all day and then it's like in my free time, it's like it's not really the same thing. It's not like somebody's asking me to work. When we record a song for fun or something like that, which we do less and less now, and I feel kind of bad about that because it is fun. But like my dad and Marielle were working on a song. The other night they essentially made a demo. We might have been recording it, but it wasn't quite practiced enough to be ready. And it's difficult sometimes to get together and practice these things.
Yeah.
So we basically made a demo that now they can practice to. And it's like, is that like asking me to work in my off time? It's so easy. Though it's like it's not anything. It's not onerous. It's not a big deal. It was like we came out here and it was like kind of fun. And I threw up a couple of mics and we did this. Well, let's just do it. How am I going to make this sound good live off the floor? And like, it's easy and it's not a big deal. So that's not the issue. It's not like, oh my God, you're asking me to work.
But let me throw you a curveball here.
Yeah.
But now. You've got that recording and you're like, this is so great. It's like, say it wasn't a demo. Say it's like a good off the floor thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, project done. What a great time. Good job, everybody. We send it. And then the notes come in, or the, hey, next time, or the just like, is there any way you could do this? Like that step is when it starts to feel 100 times more like work to me. Because like I'm already mentally moved on and kind of, and maybe back to my real work, right? Like I'm back to what I actually do. So to reopen something is tricky, but yeah.
I have honestly never.
That probably is not going to happen. Yeah.
Okay. It's always been like I've done it. I think by the time there's a couple of things here. I think everybody, like all of our family and everything, it's just not that way.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And combined with, I think I have kind of a high standard for myself. And like when I do one of those things, I'm like, okay, great, we've got it. And then I go and mix it and I kind of,
you do it right.
I don't just throw it in. I don't just throw it together in a second.
Okay.
I do the whole thing. And by the time it's done, yes, I have gently kissed everything with a little bit of pitch correction. And I have done, in situations where that would work and timing editing, like we did this demo. So like the second take of the demo, it was like, oh, he didn't get something right in the middle. And I was like, you know what though, when we do it the second time, just keep going. Just like honestly give yourself a beat and keep going. And then I just stitched it together like he didn't mess up. And it was like, you know what, this is fine.
Treat it like video editing. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's that kind of thing. I haven't gotten those that would obviously annoy me. That would make it into work. So yes, you're right.
So like, circling back a little, Eric said a minute ago in the chat, I just bought a tube screamer. It's really great, huh? You ever play one? And like, that's the thing where somebody's like, somebody I don't know that well, or someone I do know very well who knows nothing about guitar will message me and say something like, I'm thinking about getting into guitar or something. Have you ever had this happen? Yeah.
Well, nobody's asked me specifically about that.
So I've had a few people ask me like, I'm thinking about getting this pedal. What do you think? And it's like a big muff, right? Or it's something, I'm like,
but you're a great person to ask for that.
Yeah, it's just like that. And that's a very different question than like somebody finding out at the company holiday party that I play guitar and asking me about tube screamers.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
exactly.
But the weird thing is, Justin, this is what I cannot figure out about myself is, maybe you can, is
okay.
Like I don't want to sit in between bands and talk about tube screamers, but I got it in me. You know what I mean?
It's there. Somebody tweezes it out.
Like if somebody gets it out, like it's there. I can still do it. Like I know it's
okay.
Right? Like it's all there, just like waiting to be tipped over. It's like just spilling a glass, right?
Yeah.
Spilling a bag of milk.
It's accidentally tearing open your bag of milk before you were ready. Yeah. So zoom out just a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that I have a lot to say about, but almost never allow myself to talk about,
thank
right?
you. Yeah, or never want to talk about.
Right. And it's like most of the time, here's the truth. Most of the time it's because I am afraid of what the other person is going to say.
Like in
simply,
rebuttal, kind of like
right. Like if I bring this up, who knows? Like, so what's on this list? Religion, politics. You know what I mean? Like these are the lists of things that normal people, not just you and I, normal people are going to be like, well, some people don't have this filter, right? But there are things, right, where you're just like, I know this person and I've known them for this long. I am not sure if this conversation came up, if I would find out something I don't want to know about them, you know? And that it's that kind of thing. And there are a lot of topics for me where that comes up. Or so let's pick something easier. If anybody is ever talking about if they have an opinion on Windows versus Mac.
Yeah. iPhone, Android. Like
most of the time, if that comes up in front of me, they're going to be met with this. I'm just going to show them this gentle, I'm listening to you smile.
Yeah.
And
focused.
Nothing else. Right.
Yeah.
And if it seems like they're done, I might bring up something else. Because I'm almost never actually wanting to talk to them about that. It doesn't mean that I don't have lots to say. And it doesn't mean that people haven't occasionally teased it out of me. So yeah, something like that could happen, right? What do you think about the Tube Screamer?
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. The number of times someone has said, what are your thoughts on the Tube Screamer? Like, that's not how it's coming up,
no,
right?
It's not. Yeah.
But it would be like, my wife's coworker's husband who's like, I just got that Tube Screamer reissue and da-da-da-da-da. And like, it'd be
he
some
said
like
reissue, so he's really going to talk about it too.
Yeah, like there's something, you know what I mean? There's like a connection there that's like, no, I'm not going to see this person maybe ever again. But if I do, the fact we play guitar is going to be the one thing that we connect over. So, I should maintain that, but also boost the mids. Like, what do you want me to say?
It's about the mids, bro. So that's it. So you can get into the conversation if it's one where you can see that the exit is going to be one of these, oh yeah, man, it's all about them mids. Wow, what a great dip over here in this bowl, right?
Yeah. Have you seen this dip?
Have you guys tried? Oh my God, this punch is really
punchy. Damn it.
This punch is really setting me down on the counter. I don't know.
Now, looking at what Eric's commenting here, I'm thinking about that, like somebody talking to you about Mac versus Windows.
Yeah.
And I'll just go, anyway, I was working on my minor scale patterns. Like anytime a Tube Screamer comes up.
Oh, this is when you want to change let's just change the level of the conversation here.
Right. I start talking about diminished chords instead. I'm like, this is what I'm focusing on, choosing to focus on.
Push your glasses down your nose a little bit.
Just so I can push them back up again.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much. And and I see it happening at gigs too. Like I'll be setting up or something or in between stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
And some people will come over and do the the snooping and
you avoid their eyes, right? Because you're like, don't ask me, don't ask me, don't ask me.
No.
No, okay.
I'm like, I'll chat about it. Hey, hey, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. Depends on what I'm using. Actually, I've really noticed when the Helix is there, people don't care. Which like secret hidden advantage of the Helix, right?
Yeah. Just another tick in that column, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, is that some kind of modeler?
Sounds great. Easy to use. Makes setup and breakdown a breeze. People don't bother you about it.
Yep. But if I'm using something else like my HX Stomp board, which has regular pedals on it, like there's more to look at and stuff. And certainly my guitars, like still, I bring a guitar to my shows. Ugh, I know.
Oh my God.
But people always want to ask about the Novo and stuff. And if I have my blue telly, they ask about that too, because it's not a Fender. But
stands out a little bit.
Yeah. Which, like, fine, I get it. Novos are weird looking. People want to know. That's fine. I don't mind talking about that. But yeah,
the Novo isn't weird looking. It's pretty normal looking. It's not like exactly the thing that you've already seen on TV, but it's it's just twisted around the edges a little bit. I mean,
yeah. Production on my new one is starting this week.
Cool,
right? Should be ready in maybe as early as January. But
I think you were thinking early New Year, right?
Yeah. So they have a 6-month wait at the moment, and for custom.
Yeah.
And so they do their non-customs, like the regular production stuff, in 2 to 3 months. So I'm like, okay, carry the 2, and trying to think like when timeline wise, like based on when I ordered, what's 6 months, and maybe they can build a guitar in 3 months. So might be now. Might be, and they tend to email like, hey, we're starting yours this week or something. Just
Yeah.
as an FYI, time to get excited. So
I knew that before, but it is still interesting because, and I mean, it makes sense, right? It's just these were the same, they're doing their same processes. It's not like one person takes one guitar, or it would take them like 2 or 3 days.
Right. Yeah.
And they would have nothing to do for half the time because they'd be waiting.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And it's also sometimes when you hear like, oh, there's a year wait, or there's an 18-month wait. Yes. And then if you're like me, then your mind immediately goes to it taking 18 months to make a guitar, but that's not true at all. It takes almost no time to make a guitar.
Right.
And it's just in that last 30 days, things really get rocking.
That's when stuff really starts to move.
Yeah. So anyway, the full tour is coming soon, early in the new year. So, but anyway, like, I don't know. I see my stuff and I'm like, I don't really need to practice anything right now, is what I think to myself, especially in context of the band. Like, I don't need to, if I'm caught up on what I need to learn, I'm just like, well, I can jam. I can like do my thing, play songs I want to play, or just noodle around with nonsense. But there's a certain ceiling on that satisfaction, you know?
Yeah.
So,
okay, so kind of wrapping this back around to one of the places we were earlier, you mentioned, you hung up the acoustic and it kind of did cause you to play it a couple of times, right? But in here, there's all those guitars are on the rack, some of them are on the wall. So, is there value in a kind of rotating system, right? Like, should you have some of those in a closet?
So one method for a while was that most of my guitars were in the basement. And I would bring them because I had all my gear set up down there. But then we turned it into a guest room, and I moved all my whole house around. So
this became the baby doesn't come in here room.
Right. So I was like, well, I'm always when I need my guitars the most is when I'm like recording, right? So I'll put it in the room with the recording stuff. That makes sense, and it's fine. So and I'm in here all the time anyway, like for work. So I may as well enjoy my space. And I do have the kind of job where I can play guitar for a few minutes at a time. And I sometimes do still, just, unplugged a few minutes here or there throughout the day. Just, I don't really think that counts, but, So what I would do then was rotate them up from the basement. And like that would keep it exciting. It's like, I haven't played this one in a month, 2 months, whatever. Now it's what rotates between what's on the wall and what's in the rack. Even though it's just across the room, it's on the other side of my big desk, and I have to like go around. So it's just eliminating one more barrier to having to do all that stuff. I used to rotate them once a week. I just haven't in a while.
Yeah,
I don't have an excuse. Lazy. They're also just right there, so it's like
It's like not enough of a separation, right?
Yeah. You know what hurts sometimes too is realizing you left your guitar and you're in the case in between rehearsals.
Yeah.
When your rehearsals are like a month apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh.
Oh no.
Should have played that guitar. So I don't know. That's kind of just a weird thought that's been rattling around in my brain. That whole like, what if I ever gave it up? What would I do then?
There are these phases though. Like life has lots of phases, and some of them might be years long. And that doesn't mean guitar is gone either. I don't know.
Right.
I could start playing guitar more at some point. I don't fucking know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and then so here's the other thing that happens is I do pick up to learn a complex song like The Suffering.
Yeah.
And I get it in a few takes. And so I'm like, fine. Okay, I'm fine. Like or something, or I like go to run a set or something before rehearsal and I'm like, yep, still know them. And I don't feel that like challenge in a way. Not the challenge, because Suffering is challenging, but like, do you know what I mean? Like I don't feel that whole like, what if I'm not ready aspect
Stress
anymore. I guess,
of the pressure.
Try to play it left-handed. Yeah, that'll really light the fire, right?
Oh my God! When I
maybe
throw
it
the
is
ball,
the stress. Maybe it's just like I'm not worried about not doing well anymore. Maybe that's
you're not scared. You got no fear.
Oh, damn! Is that what it is? like getting really existential.
You're just not
here.
afraid of the guitar anymore.
That's what. You know what it is? A string hasn't broken and scared the shit out of me in a while.
It comes at me, man. Oh my God. You see
I need guitar to knock me down a peg.
Oh God. Sorry. Switch the strings around. D, G, E, E, B, A. Yeah, Derek. Why don't you do that? That sounds like, how would you...
Like the notes on the strings or the physical strings?
Flip the actual strings.
So I've got my high E and my low E like right in the middle next to each other.
It's like 12 string right there in the middle, and then the rest of the guitar happens around it like a sandwich.
It's a 12-string sandwich.
It's a 12-string hot dog, I guess, right?
Okay.
But...
Sure. Yeah.
He's throwing rice against...
Oh man, the milkman coming in hot.
Here we are. So for the listeners at home, and I don't actually remember how it happened. Oh no, wait, it was my fault.
I remember exactly how this whole thing about milk went down. Hit me with a sound.
So okay.
Whoa. Oh fuck!
This one's long. I'll let it go.
Oh, is this that pedal you can put liquid into or something? Oh, man. That is awesome.
So could it be...
Whoa.
There was a fuzz that was you know that company that puts like an electric, there's like an actual arc of lightning inside the thing?
It is not that one.
It's not that though. Okay.
I think it might have been the one that it's like a fuzz with an expression pedal, but it's like it's a disc, like a little puck, and you put your weight on it and it's like a pressure sensor.
Yeah.
Might be that one. I forget who makes it, but anyway, what the hell was I going to say? Jesus. Oh, see, this is the problem with the...
This is the problem with the rando sound.
Oh. Weird.
What
were we
so we were talking about the milk in a bag thing.
Oh, so here's what happened. Yeah, so we're joking about milk today at the Tone Control. Why are we talking about this? This is so dumb.
My wife comes home. Do you want to talk about this or not?
I mean, I don't have anything else to talk about.
My wife
Do you want to like
explain
the inside joke about the server to the podcast listener?
There's this... She goes to this charity gala thing the other night, and she comes home with this goodie bag, and it's like... It's this very like bougie thing that she got invited to. But anyway, she comes home with this goodie bag, and one of the things is a box of water. Yeah. So it's like a carton. It's like a little milk carton, but it's full of water. And there's all the labeling on it is like, how come you shouldn't put water in a box?
Yeah.
And it's like better for the environment, man. And I was like, I don't know, aluminum is fine, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
like paging liquid death. Right.
Right, exactly. But it's off-putting, and it makes me feel weird when I look at it. And so I made everybody else look at it and as a response to that emotion. And anyway, and then apparently, so milk coming in bags is a thing.
So it came up because
it's
like, it's water in a milk carton.
Right.
But then I was remembering that in some parts of the world, milk comes in a bag.
Yeah.
Which seems like a very inefficient method of storage, you know.
Now, when you said that, I was picturing like astronaut food where there's like a cap on one end of the. I think there is, because then somebody said it's not resealable, and then I was picturing it's like just a bag. What do you tear it open like a sack of grain?
But then you know what's absurd is I've seen pictures of a bag of milk in a pitcher in someone's fridge. So like just put it in a carton.
So they were like, they had milk in a bag and they wanted to refrigerate it, but it was
But you can't put that in your fridge.
It's inconvenient without a handle. See, I wondered if maybe the milk in a bag thing was just about you have space in your fridge. There are air gaps between things, right? But none of them are cylindrical or rectangular. So if you put your bag in there, it just changes shape to whatever space you have. It's very convenient.
Yeah, I mean, I guess technically that could happen, but you know, I don't know.
But then they put it in a picture because what they had to do was add a handle to it to make it convenient to move around. And then we're right back where we fucking started, aren't we?
Right. So then the milk conversation happens. Then we go, oh my God, wait a minute. It's Canada. That's the part of the world that does this. And so then, Andrew, the resident Canadian, chimes in.
Yeah.
Going on like, hey, not all Canadian. Right.
He was like, don't blame the milk on me. Yeah.
Right. And then Eric got mad about it, that we were talking about milk in a guitar server.
He said, how come we're not talking about guitars?
Yeah. And then I changed his name to the Milkman.
Yeah.
And then now we've been talking about milk all day. I think this is probably the longest running daily bit we've had in a while.
It's true. Actually, our concentration has remained focused, which is unusual.
Yeah, I think it's because the minute somebody's like, hey, can we get back on topic? Everyone is like,
that's it.
Nope. No, we cannot. Yeah. So.
That's what we do.
Eric says, I see. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, yeah, man.
Well, hey, look, I don't have anything else for the pod.
Okay.
Do you?
Not really. Because what else could it be? Like, it would just be like, we're going to talk about gear again.
We're going to talk about something that's not guitar related, and that's going to annoy people. But
or whatever. So guess what? Next episode, we're going to be coming into Thanksgiving, which means we're going to be, I don't know, at that point, maybe we'll do like should we do any kind of, we used to do like almost buying guide like stuff, right? What's happening? And it's like, at a certain point, we really have ignored guitar gear long enough that we could sprinkle a little in.
We could.
And it would be fine.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that.
It is still ahead of things, but all the companies are spreading out this Black Friday thing. So it's sort of like Black November, right?
Totally.
And so I think we'll probably have some info that we can say like, okay, here's some things. In case you're in the market for this kind of thing, here are some potential deals or something.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
JHS is doing 25% off, straight up.
Oh, see, there's nothing to even talk about there, is there?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's a good deal, though. I would jump on a JHS for 25% off. They also ended Ross, and they were terminating those. I think they've been liquidated by now, but they were like $79 a piece. But different story. And Black Friday deals, it's just like, okay, everybody send in your 20%, right? It's like usually 20%. And I think, like you're saying, it's been going on for a couple of weeks already.
It's true. The deal is, so overall, the whole Black Friday culture has stabilized, right? Like,
we've successfully overcapitalized it to the entire month of November instead.
Well, but the other thing, the other side effect though is like, I think early on it became a thing. It became some company had the idea, and then there was 2 or 3 years of it spiraling into everybody realized, oh shit, we really should do this. And since then, since everybody does it, it's the, everything's always on sale, so nothing's ever on sale kind of thing. So like the discounts they've homogenized, they've stabilized, they are slight. In my opinion, Black Friday hasn't been exciting in a way where I actually want to go buy a thing in ages.
It's turned into no more exciting than a Labor Day sale or a 4th of July sale or anything like that. Yeah. So, Eric, we cannot. This is now the holiday edition.
I think I agree. Like, this was enough of a check-in on that it's like, okay, we don't need to do that. So then the other thing that I'll say is, if we need content, next week, we should do a Black Friday sale joke and just harvest some reverb weirdos and suggest a reverb weirdo buying guide for Black Friday.
Oh, dude, that's the best idea.
Yeah. And that's much, much better and much more fun. And we'll find some shit that, and it won't be the Beatles EMI console.
Which came down in price by a few $100,000.
They had to drop the price, did they? Oh, no.
Yeah. It's just a little under $3 million.
It's because everybody knows they're buying a massive electric bill and air conditioning bill at the same time. You know how like guitar amps are all like Class A or maybe Class AB amps, and they're really warm? Imagine if you had like 30 Class A amps in a desk.
Sorry, I'm distracted by the chat as well. I'm not listening, but please keep up whatever Eric does not want to talk about.
Look, Mike's got our back. Even when he's not in here, he knows better. Okay, so thing of the week then, right?
Yeah, which of course all right, I got something, I guess.
All right, here, it's all right. If you want, I'll vamp with mine. But anyway, I'm going to play. Time for the random button.
All the fuzzes tonight.
Yeah, fuzz heavy.
Zippery. Cool.
There's a bit of that always that reminds me of an old Metallica riff, which I know you didn't base it on because I wonder if you'd ever heard the song because it's like not one of their singles. And,
probably. I mean, I'm into Metallica, but not.
Okay, yeah,
not it was enough.
Like, yeah, something. I think it was from Load. Anyway, don't worry about it. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm not even going to show anything for this. Of all the productivity things, the Stream Deck kind of sparked a lot of this, right? Because I got this thing, and so I'm like making buttons for all of my various softwares. And one thing that I have always wanted to have, and is even more important now that I've changed my config, I no longer have a laptop with a second screen. So now I don't just like full screen my DAW when I'm working or my video editor when I'm working, right? Because sometimes I have like an audiobook, I need my script up there too. And so I've always wanted and never quite had something where I could easily just tile windows onto like, make this take up a quarter of my screen or a third of my screen and fill the other part with this. Like iPads can do that to a certain extent, but it's like half and half.
I know that you like to use Mac, but Windows can do that.
Windows can sort of do it, but not as good as I want it to because I'm actually annoyed with this on my game computer too. You can split your window in half easily, but with Windows, you also need to add this third-party thing called Power Toys, and then it's better, and you can, but it's still not as good as this thing I found on Mac. So it's called Rectangle, and it's an app. There is a free version. There's a pro version also that has like you can save like literally totally customized loadouts, but Rectangle is a free app, and it is already better than the slight bit of this that Apple is adding to Sequoia, the very very new OS that I've not updated to Sequoia because you can't do that. You can't jump on those OSs when they're new in my line of work.
Center third, holy shit!
You can do any fucking thing you can imagine.
Top
so you can make
right sixth.
You can make your sides and your corners hotkeys, so you can just drag windows onto them and program what they'll do. You can also create hotkeys, which is how I was able to put it on my Stream Deck. But the things that I really love are, first third, second 2/3, things like that. So I can just with the touch of a button, bam, bam, and you can also just restore. Like if you just grab the window with the mouse, it'll go back to the size that it was before every time.
That's
does. They've thought of it all. They're all assignable hotkeys, so I could quickly put them on my Stream Deck. Like this would have been great if I just had a mouse. Anybody, if you're a single monitor and you do any workstation stuff, I think this is great. If you have wide, like an ultra wide situation, this is like necessary.
I have 3 displays for work, and one of them is not an ultra wide, but it's a big 27-inch curved display. So, and then next to it's like a 22 or something. So, I have a lot of desktop real estate. But
I have this is a 4K here. It's like a 27-inch 4K that I have, and that's
what I'm on my iMac.
It's great. Right, it's right. That's why I got it because it's really similar to like the Apple like 5K or whatever. It's like slightly
I think this
different,
iMac one is technically 5K.
Yeah.
But
that's a weird number, but it's Apple, so they smooth all the pixels and it's fine. But anyway, this is outstanding. And I just found it today. I was just like, how come this doesn't work? And I was like, so thrilled.
Ages ago, when Expose first launched on macOS, I set up hot corners on my screen.
Yes.
So when I flick the mouse into one of the 4 corners of the display, it does something with Expose. So I set it up so my top left and right corners start my screensaver.
Yeah.
And my bottom left exposés on my windows, so I can just see every open window from every program that's not currently minimized, right?
And since then, they've added that to the OS, but
right. And then my bottom right corner swipes to reveal desktop. That has since been added in. If you just click your desktop, it will do that.
It'll vamoose everything, yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing that since fucking PowerBook days, baby.
Yeah, I mean, apparently the new one that I haven't updated to yet, 15, has some of this stuff built in, but it's like split in half or split in quarters, which is not what I want.
And if I click and hold my maximize button, I've got tile window to left or to right of screen or full screen. Yeah. And, then you can sidecar it to your iPad, but that's different. So anyway,
and
that's cool.
their other thing that they have, not mission control.
Yeah.
Is it? Well, mission control is a thing. Anyway, whatever. It's a thing where you have these little collections of Stage Manager. That's what it is. Yeah. Stage Manager. Apple thinks that's how you. I hate the way Stage Manager looks and works. I hate everything about it. I turn it off. I can't handle it. It's just like it's like giving up screen real estate to be able to see that an app's there that I can't really deal with.
I haven't used it.
Oh God, anyway. So whatever. Rectangle app. Good. And if you really love it, there's a $10 and you get the expanded version, which seems like a great deal because they have done a fantastic job.
Is it is it a lifetime license?
I assume so. It's not a subscription.
Are you a keyboard person? Reach for your mouse less with Super Key. Okay. Cool. That's great. My thing of the week is something I feel like I'm late to the party on, an artist I feel like I'm late to the party on, Jon Batiste. I don't know why, but Jon Batiste fed into my feeds in the last 2 weeks and just came in like a nuclear bomb. He's been everywhere. I don't know why. It's just weird. Have you ever had that happen where just something shows up like in your various in your week through the internet? It's like everybody's talking about something suddenly and you're like, how am I hearing about this for the first time? But
I mean, I'm sure I have. No examples are coming to mind.
Of course,
okay.
Yeah. But it happens sometimes. So I'm like, oh, now like everybody's hip to Jon Batiste except me, because that seems to be what the case is. But I'm just like digging into his stuff and I'm into it. So go check it out. He actually just had a new album drop last week called Beethoven Blues, and it's his solo piano stuff mashing up what he does, his like R&B / soul jazz blues thing with Beethoven.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
It just came out.
See, just playing with music, right?
Yes. Okay. Good choice of words. He is playing with it. It's really interesting to hear.
Yeah.
And it's cool because I think you might appreciate how it's recorded being just solo piano. It's really just him and the piano in the room, and you can really hear the room. You can hear everything to like the surface of the bottom of his shoe pressing, not pressing the pedal, but the contact of the materials and then pressing the pedal. You can hear him breathing, and like there's all of these kinds of things where, there'll be a passage and he'll give it like a or woo, what kind of one of those. And it's very like
the musician
it's very
breathing is such a thing. I am routinely way conscious of it when I'm recording acoustic guitar players. It must be the mic technique that I tend to favor. I'm usually wanting a pretty close sound, and I always like have trouble getting the nose breathing out of keeping that out of my recordings. One time I had this poor girl, like I put like a chunk of foam like on top of my microphone stand between the mic and her face to try, because it was, and I felt really bad, but I was like, I keep hearing, like she was kind of doing it kind of loud, and it was going to be like a solo acoustic guitar and voice record, and it was like
a nose whistle in the background.
Yeah, imagine she's singing, but then there's also this, right?
Because really takes you out of the moment.
So we had to do something about it, and it was like, this was years and years ago, and I remember like being so nervous that I was gonna like weird her out, and then also thinking like, how to like seasoned audio engineers deal with this. Like I thought I was pretty good at this, and I'm like going, what? You know, is this how they would do it? You know, probably the answer is they wouldn't be recording it that close, but well. So, dude. We sure did talk about a lot of things. Sir.
We did. We made it almost to the cutoff time. Look at us.
Look at us go. All right. Tell you what. Cool. So it's time for one more random stinger, and then we're going to get ourselves out of here, right? Because we're going to talk about Patreon.
What could it be?
I don't know. It's a chorus? There's like 20 more seconds. Do you want me to kill it?
Sure. You know what? I think it's probably like the Mobius or something like that had a lot of sounds in that I made a long demo for to use a bunch. Yeah.
Okay.
So
right.
Cool.
What am I looking at here? Okay, never mind. We're not looking at Discord just now.
Oh, it's friggin' that's Morpheus from Sandman. It's Dream incarnate himself.
Oh, there he is.
From the comic book series and YouTube Netflix original series, The Sandman.
Okay. Well, everybody, we thank you once again for listening. And if you want to support the show, you know what to do. The links are in the show notes. There's a Patreon. There's
a newsletter.
There is a newsletter. What else?
There's a Discord.
There is.
And in that Discord, there's a giveaway. So do it.
You got to get in there. You got to enter. And that's it. And I'm going to try this. I made some very complicated buttons to do my outro thing the way I wanted, and we were about to give it a test. Okay. So right here, we've cued the music to start playing at a nice low volume so that I can say special thanks to the patrons who include Rabbi Bob, Meath Kuhn, Carson Ricketts, Matthew Fenslaw, Ryzen Welf, Brian Gower of the Tone Jerks podcast, Andrew Walsh of Andrew's Alcove, Sean Wright of Lollygagger Effects, Sean Wright of Lollygagger Effects, I'll say again because he's very special.
Yeah.
Doug Gann.
Double Sean.
And our man, the Milkman.
Our man, the Milkman.
Our man, the Milkman. And that's it. Thank you all so much. We'll see you next time.
Thank you all so much. See you next time. Bye.